Chief Electoral Officer Sy Mamabolo says political parties are entitled to sell seats at gala dinner tables, which can then run into millions of rands. That's after the Electoral Commission releasing its first political party funding report. That's 2 years after the Political Party Funding Act came into effect. But the ANC failed to disclose direct donations to the Commission by their deadline last year. Mamabolo says it has now rectified this morning. The non-profit organisation My Vote Counts filed a High Court bid against the Commission. It wants the Act set aside over what they say are loopholes concerning private donations. Our reporter Erin Bates is outside the Western Cape High Court. Erin, good afternoon to you. A lot of moving parts to the story at the moment. Which direction is it all going?
Well, if My Vote Counts has its way, Stephen, toward more transparency around private donors to political parties, to politicians themselves, they're tackling the Constitution and that Political Party Funding Act signed into effect by President Cyril Ramaphosa in 2021. He lauded it at the time as a measure toward transparency, but My Vote Counts feels that there aren't sufficient measures in place to get all the information voters they think need in order to make informed political decisions. One of the reasons, Stephen, is because of that 100,000 rand threshold above which, or at and above which, political parties need to disclose private donations. They've also questioned the 15 million rand threshold, and Shaden Clark of My Vote Counts telling Newzroom Afrika earlier today they have particular concerns around related parties, that is, people related to one another who are private, who are donating millions of rand to political parties. We also heard from Rachel Fisher from Outer. Outer was here to support My Vote Counts as it filed its application, and Outer saying that they have questions around those tickets for tables at gala dinners. They also want more transparency around private donations to political parties because they say that money influences decisions and that the voting public in South Africa, in Outer's view, needs all this information in order to make informed decisions. Remember, we're going to the polls next year. We don't know when. Mamabolo not giving us an indication. There was talk about May, but it does seem like that could be an optimistic time frame for the national elections next year. All of this around voters' right to information on who's bankrolling political parties before we go to the polls.
You would think the legislation is very clear on this, and it is not. We've tried our best to go and ascertain where would that be covered, and we can't find exact.
Erin Bates, thank you very much indeed for that update live outside the High Court for you in court there today on that story. I'm expecting more developments through that. The issue of political party funding, of course, quite contentious in many different directions.